Alrighty, folks, we got our first of a couple of jobs readings yesterday, and that was the ADP report. ADP report was expected to come in at 141,000 jobs. Last month was 183,000 jobs. Well, it came in at a significant disappointment at only 77,000, roughly a 50% miss. This is actually the lowest reading for the ADP report since January of 2022. Now, the big number, of course, comes out on Friday. Expectations are for 143,000 jobs created in the month of February. And the unemployment rate is expected to stay flat at 4%. So again, that is what is expected Friday. We will talk about it later in the week. Let's do a quick review. Ken McElroy was asked on X or Twitter, what would he focus on today? Now, if you don't know who Ken McElroy is and you're interested in real estate investing, do yourself a favor, check out his books, give him a follow on X or Twitter. He is the real deal. He does focus obviously on multifamily, very much so Class A multifamily, so he is a big fish. I will give you my answers to this question after we review what Ken says. Number one, Ken says, please focus on cash flowing properties. Betting on appreciation is a gamble, to which I obviously agree. Number two, focus on strong rental markets. Now, he does highlight that he would prefer you to focus on landlord-friendly states and areas. I have had some experience with the complete opposite. Now, maybe that is something that's unique to small mom and pops, people who have homes in duplexes. But again, this is Ken's list. Number three, learn creative financing, whether it be seller financing or, subject to or anything of that nature. Focus on creative finance. Again, remember our folks at Velocity Mortgage bring to us that 90% CLTV loan, or what I often call the 50-40-10 with Mr. Stephen Dow. That is an example of creative finance. And when you do it correctly, you can get a building for 10% down and lower blended interest rate. Very, very powerful. Now, Ken does happen to focus on value add. Now, most recently, Ken has been picking up buildings that are still in the lease-up phase. Thus, he gets increased value by filling the building. And then finally, please think long-term. Again, folks, I've shared with you many times my wealth formula. And step three is it takes a decade. So I would agree with Ken there. I just thought I'd give you my answers to the same question that Ken was proposed, and mine are actually quite different. I focus on, again, single family, duplexes, quads, small stuff that frankly Ken McElroy would not touch with a 10-foot pole. Now, again, depending on where you are in your life, I think if you can, house hacking is the cheat code to wealth. If you can go back at 18, 19, pick up a fourplex, pick up a duplex, and house hack, it really is the cheat code to wealth. Next, folks, it's really simple. I believe real estate investing is a skill. I believe because it is skill, it takes practice. I believe most investors get lost at this first step. They are distracted. They are unfocused. They are not learning the market. Now, of course, I ask you to get a buy box, to track what's in that buy box, to learn what an average deal is so that you can only write good or great offers. If you need help with that, I offer a $50 course, your buy box course, or you can get the full thing for $399, how to get started one rental at a time. Both of those are on Teachable. I think there's links below. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Anyways, it's there. Then from there, I would focus on what might make sense to your area. If you're in San Diego, California, perhaps, ADUs. Thatch to Win up in Seattle, ADUs. Maybe you're like Brandon doing infill new construction, build to rent. Again, I believe he's in Texas. These are all things that might make sense in your area. And then, of course, we have lots of folks like Jared and many others doing rent by room. And then lastly, folks, networking. You've got to get in the right rooms with the right people. You've got to be in rooms where you can ask questions, where you can get mentored, where you can get advice. And now, of course, I believe we put on the best school for real estate investing called One Rental at a Time. We keep it at a crazy price point of 67 pennies a day. If you're not part of it, go ahead, sign up, give it a try, get all the goodies, meet all the people. For example, we just had Frank do accountability group number 36. He has been doing this for 36 weeks, and we owe Frank, old guy RAI, a lot. Not to mention the other 5 accountability groups, such as Jared, Ladies of ORAT, real estate investors, real estate agents. They're all there. 6 different communities you can be a part of, or accountability groups. Frank just talked about electronic locks and differences they've talked about. Also, contractors, how they build out their work calendar. Again, join the groups, be a part of it, ask questions, network. There you go. We have got some earnings here. We got some tech earnings, MongoDB, weak guidance, Marvell Technologies, weak guidance. Are we starting to see software and tech really stare into the teeth of what might be a tech recession? We got some updates on nationwide rent. Now, these are national numbers, that not your city. But nationwide rent is up 0.3%. That is significant. It actually reverses a trend that is 6 months old. For 6 months, rent has been negative. Now, of course, you can go to CPI and ask what the hell is going on there, because I believe the last CPI reading had rents up 4.5%. Again, folks, they're up 0.3%. And again, they were down 6 months in a row. So CPI lie, wrong again. What else do we got? We got mortgage applications. You know that rates matter. Mortgage applications popped 20%. Now that's collectively. Refis were up 37%, and purchase apps are up 9%. Folks, we are staring at a spring selling season with interest rates falling. Now, interest rates as of yesterday, thanks Lance Lambert, 6.72. Did you know that rates were 7.03% a year ago? So folks, you may not realize this, but rates are down significantly over the last 52 weeks. We got some Fed chatter. Fed President Williams, I see very high pass-through rate of tariffs to consumers. Again, folks, I want to remind you, yesterday we learned from Target and Best Buy, both CEOs are looking to adjust pricing now to pass on tariffs. Number 2, Fed President Williams says it's really hard to know what the Fed will do with rates this year. So again, when in doubt, I think they stay on hold. We did get the Fed Beige Book. Overall expectations for economic activity was a slight positive. Again, there are 18 regions covered by the Fed. Again, slight positive. They did highlight that wages were up moderately. Again, it is good to see that wages are up more than inflation. That is called real versus nominal. So again, real wages are up, which is a good thing. We need this for months and months and years to make up for the nominal or the real misses we had for years during the pandemic. We now have a 50% chance that the Fed are going to cut rates in May. It is now still double digits that they'll cut in March. But yes, more than a 50% chance as of this morning that we will get a Fed rate cut in May. The 10-year and the 3-month are still slightly negative. That may have reversed in the last 24 hours. At the last reading that I saw, which again is at midnight or 1 a.m. for you, the 3-month was 0.01 or 1 basis point higher than the 10-year. Now, again, remember, folks, historically speaking, when you have an inverted yield curve where the short end is higher than the long end, that has been a recession indicator. We have been there for several weeks now, again, the 10-year and 3 months. Last things to talk about, ISM manufacturing, new orders tumbled. Employment index fell. However, prices paid spiked. Folks, what is that? Stagflation. This, again, is something we've been talking about as a worst case scenario. It is the boogeyman for the Federal Reserve. because their tools lower in raising interest rates can't fight that battle. Will they fight a weakening job market by lowering rates? Will they fight inflation by raising rates? Let's hope we don't figure it out. Let's hope this doesn't happen. Again, ISM manufacturing, new orders tumbled, employment index fell, and prices paid spiked. That is not good news. And then finally, we also got ISM services. ISM services, thankfully, stronger than expected, actually reversed trend from last month. So again, folks, a lot of stuff going on there. Shout out Frank for running the 36th accountability group inside school. We did get also a reprieve auto manufacturers, Ford, Centellus, and the like, get a 30-day notice, a reprieve from tariffs. Hopefully they can adjust their supply chains and the like, but it seems like it's coming. Again, folks, we got a plan for this, right? Is stagflation coming? Are we staring at a recession? At the end of the day, your job as a real estate investor has not changed. We are going to get a buy box. We're going to look every day. We're going to learn average. We're going to write disrespectful offers. We're going to do deals that make sense today. Folks, I hope you have an amazing day. Take care. Peace.